We need to talk about something that's tough, but absolutely critical. It's called elder fraud. And look, this isn't just some news headline you scroll past. This is a crisis that is quietly but completely devastating families. It's draining life savings and weaponizing the trust of our parents and grandparents. To really get a sense of the true cost, you have to hear it from someone who's been through it.
Just listen to that. That is the voice of a real person who lost their entire life savings. It's such a powerful reminder that behind all the big numbers and statistics we're about to see, there are people whose lives, whose financial security, whose peace of mind has been stolen.
So how does a nightmare like this even happen? It can start with something so seemingly small, like a pop-up alert on your computer screen. For one woman, that single pop-up led to a 4-hour ordeal. A scammer, first pretending to be tech support, then a bank official, convinced her to withdraw $17,500 in cash, and then hand it over to a courier who showed up at her front door. I mean, think about that. They actually used her own printer to create fake documents, turning her own home into the scene of the crime.
And you have to understand her story. It's not a one-off thing. It's not an isolated incident. What we're really looking at is a massive, highly sophisticated criminal industry that has turned scamming our seniors into a billion-dollar business.
$3.4 billion. That is the unbelievable amount of money lost by Americans over the age of 60 to these scams, and that's just in 2023. According to the FBI, that is billion, with a B, money that was meant for retirement, for medical bills, for grandkids, just gone.
And here's the number of official complaints that were filed with the FBI by victims over 60. But every expert will tell you the same thing. This number is tragically low. Because of shame, because of embarrassment, the vast majority of these crimes never get reported. So the true scale of this crisis is, well, it's likely much, much larger than this.
And if you think this is a static problem, think again. The FBI's own data shows it's only getting worse. Losses are up 11% from just the year before. And look at that average dollar loss per victim, almost $34,000. For so many people, that's a life-altering, dream-shattering amount of money. All right, so to protect ourselves and the people we love, we have to understand how these criminals actually operate. We need to get inside their heads. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the scammer's playbook. First up is a really nasty one, so bad the FBI has issued specific warnings about it. It's called the phantom hacker scam, and it is devastatingly effective because it doesn't just rely on one lie. It uses layers and layers of deception. It starts with a simple problem and then escalates it into a full-blown crisis that, of course, only the scammer can fix. So here's how they do it. Phase 1, a fake tech support agent calls, creating panic, your computer's been hacked. Phase 2, a fake bank employee gets on the line to confirm that, oh no, because of that hack, your bank accounts are now compromised. And then, for the knockout punch, Phase 3, a fake government agent, maybe from the FBI or the Treasury, tells you the only way to protect your money is to immediately transfer it to their secure government account, which is, of course, an account controlled by them. Then you've got the grandparent scam. And this one is just pure psychological warfare. It's designed to completely bypass your logical brain by targeting the heart. It creates this powerful, totally manufactured sense of urgency and fear, all centered on a family member being in trouble. And it often starts with this simple, but honestly brilliant question. See, the scammer doesn't even need to know the grandchild's name. When grandma hears that and says, "Oh, is that you, Michael?" Boom, they've got everything they need. From that moment on, they are Michael, and he is in some kind of terrible trouble. And then there are the romance scams, which are just a special kind of cruel. These aren't quick hits. No, these are long, calculated cons that play out over weeks, sometimes months. Scammers invest a ton of time building what feels like a real, genuine, loving relationship, all with the end goal of exploiting that trust for money. The playbook here is remarkably consistent. They'll almost always claim to be working overseas. It's the perfect excuse for why they can't meet in person. They'll work to isolate their target from any friends or family who might get suspicious. And only after weeks of grooming, of building that trust, will they finally ask for money, usually for some sudden dramatic emergency. So, as if all of those tactics weren't sophisticated enough, criminals are now supercharging their scams with a powerful new tool: artificial intelligence. The game is changing, folks, and the threat is evolving right before our eyes. And this quote right here just gets right to the heart of it. One of the old red flags we used to look for was poor grammar or awkward phrasing in an email. Well, that's disappearing. AI allows these criminals to generate flawless, persuasive English, making them sound way more credible than ever before. This is so important to understand. AI is making these scams harder to spot. Scammers can now take a tiny audio clip of someone's voice, maybe from a video on social media, and clone it. They can then make a terrifyingly realistic phone call from a grandchild in distress. They can generate perfect, convincing scripts. And they can even hyper-target victims, using AI to find people who have recently lost a spouse and are looking for companionship online. It's a whole new level of predatory. Okay, that was the threat. It's real and it's scary stuff for sure. But here's the good news. Knowledge is power. So now we are going to focus on the single most important part of this whole thing, the concrete, actionable steps you can take to protect yourself and your family. The answer really starts with just recognizing the patterns. This is the first and most critical step in building up a defense against these criminals. You need to burn these into your brain. These are the universal signs of a scam. Number 1, a feeling of extreme urgency. You have to act now or something terrible will happen. Number 2, they ask for a weird payment method. No legitimate company, not the IRS, not Apple, will ever ask you to pay a bill with gift cards. Number 3, secrecy. They'll tell you, don't tell anyone, because they know that a friend or a family member will immediately spot the scam. And finally, that unsolicited pop-up on your computer screen telling you to call a number. So if you spot any of those signs, this is the single most effective defense you have. It's 3 simple steps. Stop the conversation, resist that pressure, hang up the phone or ignore the email. Then, and this is the key, verify the story yourself. Use a phone number or a website that you know is legit. Look up your bank's number on their official website and call them. Call your grandchild on the number you already have for them. But what if you think you or someone you love has already been targeted? You have to act fast. Immediately call your bank or credit card company to freeze any transactions. File a report with your local police. And then, and this is so important, file official complaints with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, or IC3, and the National Elder Fraud Hotline. Reporting helps the authorities track these criminals down, and it could stop someone else from becoming a victim. And here is a hugely important resource. The Department of Justice runs this free hotline specifically to help people over 60 who have been targeted. Case managers will actually walk you through the whole process, so have this number handy. It's 833-FRAUD-11. Again, that's 833-372-8311. So we're going to end on this question, a question for you. Because this single most powerful tool that we have against these scams is just talking about it. Awareness is our best defense. Having this conversation with the people you care about, it could be the one thing that saves their life savings.